There is a moment in every person's life when they realize something important. Working harder is not the same as growing richer. You can wake up early, stay up late, earn more, hustle more, and still feel like you are running in place. Money comes in. Money goes out. Months pass. Years pass. And the future looks almost the same as the present. At some point, a quiet question appears. Is this all there is? The truth is, wealth does not begin with a big opportunity. It does not begin with a perfect salary. It does not begin with luck. It begins with a decision. A small one. The decision to treat your first dollar differently. Most people see money as something to spend. A reward, a release, a way to feel better in the moment. But a small group of people see money as something else, a seed. And that single shift changes everything. A seed does not look powerful. It fits in your palm. It looks ordinary. But when planted with care and given time, it becomes something far greater than itself. Your first dollar is exactly like that. This book is not about getting rich quickly. It is about thinking differently. It is about moving from chasing money to growing it, from reacting emotionally to acting intentionally, from short-term excitement to long-term freedom. Because before your money can grow, your mind must grow. Two people can earn the same income and end up in completely different places. The difference is not luck. It is not talent. It is mindset. And that is where your journey truly begins. Chapter 1. The Mindset of an Investor. Before you invest your first dollar, you must first shape your mind. The difference between a spender and an investor is not money, it is mindset. Two people can earn the same income. One ends up broke, the other builds wealth. The reason is not luck, it is how they think. An investor sees money as a seed. A spender sees money as a tool for pleasure. When you see every dollar as a seed, you treat it differently. You do not waste it, you plant it. You do not chase short-term excitement, you build long-term growth. The investor's mindset begins with purpose. Why do you want to grow your money? Is it to look rich or to be free? Because freedom, not luxury, is the real goal. When you think like an investor, you value time over things. You care more about your future peace than your present show. The world teaches us to spend. Advertisements whisper that we are not enough without buying something new. But an investor learns to pause. They ask, will this purchase bring me closer to freedom or farther away from it? That single question changes everything. It creates space between your emotions and your decisions. An investor understands value. Not everything cheap is good. Not everything expensive is bad. Value means something that gives more than it takes. It could be a book that teaches you, a course that improves your skill, or a share in a great company. When you train your eyes to see value, you start finding opportunities everywhere. The investor mindset is also built on patience. In a world that runs fast, the investor walks slow. They know that real success takes time. They do not panic when markets fall or people doubt them. They stay calm because they play a long game. Their eyes are not on today's noise, but on tomorrow's growth. You cannot think like an investor if you live only for the present moment. You must be able to imagine the future. See your tomorrow before it arrives. That vision guides your daily choices. You start to save, to learn, to grow. And slowly, your actions turn into habits, and your habits turn into wealth. The investor mindset also includes learning from others. You do not need to reinvent success. Study how great investors think. Notice how they speak about patience, value, and discipline. Their lessons are free, but their wisdom is priceless. And remember this truth. You are not born with an investor's mind. You build it. Every small decision strengthens it. Every time you save instead of spend, it grows stronger. Every time you wait instead of rush, it becomes sharper. This mindset is not just about money. It is about how you see the world. Investors see possibility where others see limits. They believe in growth even in hard times. They see downturns as discounts, not disasters. They think differently, and that difference is what builds wealth. So before you chase the next opportunity, work on your thinking. Because once your mind changes, your world changes with it. Money will start to follow wisdom. Opportunities will start to find you. And your first dollar will become the start of a long, powerful journey. In the next chapter, we will go deeper into this idea of growth. You will learn how your first dollar, when treated as a seed, can become the foundation of your financial garden. A seed that grows, multiplies, and keeps giving, just like your future wealth. Chapter 2. The Seed of Growth. Every great tree begins as a small seed. You hold that same power in your hands every time you hold a single dollar. That dollar is not small. It is potential waiting to grow. But to make it grow, you must treat it like a seed, not like a coin to be spent and forgotten. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not see results on the first day. You water it, you protect it, you give it sunlight and time. Days pass, weeks pass. Nothing seems to happen on the surface, but deep under the soil, the seed is working. It is building roots, it is preparing for growth. The same is true for your money. When you invest your first dollar, you might not see instant change. But beneath the surface, growth begins quietly. The power of small beginnings is hidden from impatient eyes. Many people give up because they want results too soon. They think $1 or one step cannot make a difference. But that is how every success story starts, with one decision, one small action. When you keep planting little seeds, they start to multiply. And one day, your garden of wealth surprises you. The investor's secret is this: they never judge progress by today's results. They judge by the direction they are growing. Even slow progress is progress when it moves you forward. A dollar saved is a seed planted. A skill learned is a tree growing. Patience turns those seeds into forests. The beauty of growth is that it compounds. One small seed gives birth to many. One good habit leads to another. One wise investment opens the door to more opportunities. That is how growth multiplies quietly in the background. To grow, your seed needs 3 things: knowledge, patience, and action. Knowledge helps you know where to plant. Patience helps you wait for the right time. Action makes it real. Without any one of these, your seed stays buried forever. Do not worry about starting small. The greatest mistake is waiting for a perfect start. There is no perfect start. The best time to plant your seed was yesterday. The next best time is today. Even a tiny amount, invested wisely and consistently, begins to build power through time. And remember, not every seed grows. Some will fail. Some will take longer. That is fine. Failure is part of the process. Every time you lose a seed, you gain wisdom. You learn how to plant better next time. That experience becomes the soil for your next success. If you treat your dollar like a friend, it will stay with you. If you treat it with respect, it will bring more friends. That is how growth begins. You nurture your money the way a farmer nurtures the land, with care, consistency, and calmness. Most people chase big wins. They want to skip the seed stage and jump straight to the forest. But a wise investor understands nature. Nothing big begins big. Everything strong begins small. When you accept this truth, you stop rushing. You start focusing on quality. You stop looking for quick profits and start building slow wealth. So, hold your first dollar like a seed of hope. Promise yourself that you will plant it, not waste it. You will feed it with knowledge. You will water it with patience. You will protect it from doubt and fear. And in time, you will see what few people ever experience: the quiet magic of growth. In the next chapter, we will explore how to protect that seed before planting it. Because before you invest, you must learn. You must understand the ground where you plant. Knowledge is the sunlight that helps your seed grow strong. So let us move forward and learn before we leap. Chapter 3. Learn before you leap. Before you invest even your first dollar, take a moment to learn. Knowledge is not a delay, it is protection. Many people lose money not because they lack money, but because they lack understanding. They rush into investments without knowing what they are doing. They follow trends, tips, or promises, and when the wind changes, they fall. Learning before leaping is what separates investors from gamblers. A gambler hopes. An investor understands. Hope is not a strategy. Knowledge is. Think of learning as your first investment. It does not cost much, but it pays for life. Every book you read, every lesson you absorb, adds a layer of protection around your money. It builds your confidence. It helps you see opportunities that others miss. It helps you avoid traps that others fall into. You do not need to know everything to begin, but you must know something. Learn the basics of saving, of value, of patience. Understand how businesses make money. Understand what drives markets. When you see the patterns, you stop reacting to noise. You start thinking for yourself. Imagine walking into a forest without a map. You might wander for hours, or even get lost. But with a map, every step becomes clear. Learning gives you that map. It tells you where the dangers are and where the safe paths lie. It tells you what to avoid and what to seek. The truth is, mistakes in learning are cheaper than mistakes with money. If you read about someone else's loss, it costs you nothing. But if you repeat that loss yourself, it costs you time and peace. That is why the first dollar investor studies before investing. They understand that learning multiplies their returns. Learning also gives you patience. When you know how the game works, you stop rushing for results. You understand that time is part of the process, that waiting is not losing, that success takes seasons. Just like a farmer who understands his field, you know when to plant, when to water, and when to wait. Another truth about learning is that it never ends. Markets change, trends rise and fall, technology grows, but principles stay strong. The more you learn, the more flexible you become. You can adapt without fear, because your decisions come from understanding, not emotion. So what should you learn first? Learn about yourself. What kind of investor do you want to be? Do you like taking small risks for steady growth, or do you seek higher returns with patience and skill? When you know your own nature, you make choices that fit you. That is the foundation of safe investing. Next, learn about what you plan to invest in. If it is a business, understand what it does. If it is a stock, learn how it earns money. If it is a skill, know how it will grow your value. Never put money into something you do not understand. Because every dollar you invest carries your trust, and trust must be earned through learning. In the world of money, the slow learner becomes the fast winner. Every bit of wisdom you gain reduces your risk and increases your peace. So take your time. Ask questions. Listen more than you speak. Study the patterns of those who have succeeded. Let their stories become your teacher. Because once you learn deeply, you will never fear losing again. You will know that knowledge cannot be taken away. Money may come and go, but wisdom stays, and wisdom brings money back again. In the next chapter, we will talk about a quality that every great investor needs once they have learned: patience. Because knowledge teaches you what to do, but patience teaches you when to do it. And that timing makes all the difference between success and regret. Chapter 4. Patience is your superpower. In a world that moves fast, patience feels old-fashioned. People want everything now. They want results without waiting. They want success without the slow climb. But wealth, like nature, grows in seasons. You cannot rush a seed into a tree. You cannot rush your first dollar into fortune. Patience is the hidden power that builds lasting wealth. Every investor must learn this truth early. The market rewards those who wait. The impatient jump in and out, always chasing, always fearing. But the calm investor watches and waits. They understand that time is their greatest ally. Because time does what effort cannot. It multiplies quietly. Think about compounding. It is simply patience in action. When you let your money stay invested, it grows on its own. Each small return builds upon the last. It is like planting a tree and letting it grow taller each year. If you keep cutting it down to check its height, it will never reach the sky. Patience allows your investments to breathe and build strength. Impatience, on the other hand, kills opportunity. Many people lose money not because they chose the wrong investment, but because they could not wait. They sell too soon. They panic too fast. They forget that time has more power than timing. Markets will always rise and fall. But the one who stays calm through both earns the real reward. Patience is not just about waiting. It is about waiting wisely. It means trusting your plan. It means believing that growth takes time. When you are patient, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop comparing your progress with others. You stop letting fear control your moves. You begin to see that slow is smooth, and smooth becomes fast. The world often mocks patience. People call it boring. They say you are missing out. But the truth is, you are not missing out. You are building up. Every day that you wait with discipline, your money works quietly behind the scenes. Every day that you hold your ground, you grow stronger inside. Even the greatest investors in history built their wealth through patience. They waited years, sometimes decades, to see their vision come true. They understood that the market is a machine that moves wealth from the impatient to the patient. And that truth never changes. Patience also protects you from emotion. When prices rise, people become greedy. When prices fall, people become afraid. But patience gives you balance. It helps you stay calm when others panic. It reminds you that one bad day does not erase years of growth. It keeps your focus on the big picture, not the noise. Patience is also a sign of trust in yourself. It means you believe in your decisions. It means you are not easily shaken by others' opinions. When you learn to trust your own process, you stop chasing trends. You stop needing constant proof. You know that real results take time to appear. The hardest part of patience is the middle. When nothing seems to be happening. When progress feels invisible. That is the time when most people give up. But if you can endure that silent phase, the results that follow are often beyond your imagination. Because just like a tree, your roots grow strongest in silence before you ever see the fruit. So, train your patience like a muscle. Practice it in small ways every day. Wait before buying. Think before reacting. Let your savings grow. Let your learning settle. The more you practice patience, the more powerful it becomes. Because patience is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is wisdom in motion. It is the calm confidence that the future will reward those who prepare for it. In the next chapter, we will explore the magical partner of patience, compounding. You will see how time and patience together can turn even the smallest amount of money into a mountain of wealth. The magic of compounding begins where patience lives. Chapter 5. The Magic of Compounding. If there is one rule in the world of investing that feels like magic, it is compounding. Compounding is the quiet miracle that turns small beginnings into great results. It is the power that rewards patience, discipline, and time. And it all starts with $1. So what is compounding? It is when your money starts working for you, and then your earnings start working too. Imagine planting one seed. That seed grows into a tree that gives fruit. Each fruit has more seeds, which you plant again. Over time, your forest begins to grow. That is compounding. In simple words, it is earning on your earnings. The first time your money grows, that growth doesn't stop working. It starts producing more growth. Slowly at first, but steadily. And then, suddenly, it seems to explode. That moment, when growth feeds on itself, is where the real wealth begins. The magic of compounding does not come from luck. It comes from time. The longer your money stays invested, the stronger this force becomes. In the early years, progress looks small. You may even feel like nothing is happening. But in later years, your growth speeds up like a snowball rolling down a hill. Each turn makes it bigger. Each rotation gathers more snow. The same happens with your money. Give it enough time, and it grows beyond what you once believed possible. Most people never experience this magic fully because they interrupt it. They pull out their money too soon. They want to take profits quickly. They underestimate how powerful time can be. But compounding needs peace to work. It cannot grow when it is constantly disturbed. You must allow it to do its silent job. Compounding also works beyond money. It applies to knowledge, habits, and relationships. Every book you read adds a little wisdom. Each lesson compounds your understanding. Each kind action compounds your connections. Everything good in life grows faster when you give it time. The challenge is that compounding looks boring at the start. It does not give instant results. It asks you to believe before you see proof. It demands faith in the invisible process. That is why only patient investors enjoy its full reward. They keep planting, keep waiting, and let time do the heavy lifting. You might wonder, when will I see the results? The answer depends on how long you let compounding work. The earlier you begin, the greater your advantage, because time multiplies everything. Even a small amount invested regularly for years can grow into something meaningful. It is not about how much you start with, but how long you stay consistent. Here's a quiet truth most people ignore. You can never get back lost time. Money lost can be earned again, but time never returns. That is why the first dollar invested early is worth far more than many dollars invested later. Time is the real multiplier. Your money is only the seed. Time is the soil that gives it life. Compounding also teaches humility. It reminds you that you cannot control everything. You can control your saving, your patience, and your discipline, but not the pace of growth. Nature works in its own rhythm. The same is true for wealth. You cannot speed up the process, but you can stay faithful to it. So the rule is simple. Start early. Stay consistent. Do not interrupt the process. Let time and patience work together for you. Even when progress seems invisible, something powerful is happening beneath the surface. Remember this whenever you doubt your efforts. Compounding is the reward for faith in time. It is the universe's way of thanking you for staying patient. You may not notice it each day, but one day you will look back and see how far you have come. In the next chapter, we will talk about a habit that makes compounding possible. Saving first and spending later. Because you cannot invest what you do not save. And to enjoy the magic of compounding, you must first learn the art of keeping your first dollar safe. Chapter 6. Save first, spend later. Every great investor begins with the habit of saving. Before you can grow money, you must first learn to keep it. This is the first step in mastering your financial life. Saving is not about how much you earn. It is about how much you keep. Many people believe they will start saving when they earn more. But that is a trap. If you cannot save from a small amount, you will not save from a big one. The habit of saving is built from discipline, not from income. Even if you earn little, set aside a part of it first. This simple act teaches your mind that you control your money, not the other way around. When you get your income, do not rush to spend it. Take a small part and save it first. It can be as small as a coin or a single note, but save it before you spend a single thing. This habit will slowly change how you think about money. You will start to feel more powerful, more secure, and more in control. Spending gives a moment of joy. Saving gives a lifetime of peace. When you save, you buy your future freedom. When you spend without care, you borrow from your future. A wise person always pays the future first. The rule is simple. Save first. Spend later. This rule builds wealth silently. It is the foundation of every fortune you see in the world. From your first dollar, create a plan. Decide how much you will save before you even receive your income. Treat it like a bill that must always be paid. Pay yourself first. The rest can go to your needs and wants. As your savings grow, so will your confidence. You will notice that money begins to serve you instead of control you. It is no longer something you chase, but something that follows your discipline. With savings, you gain options. With options, you gain freedom. That is the power of saving first. This habit also prepares you for opportunities. Most people miss chances because they do not have any savings. When an opportunity comes, they have no capital to act. But the one who saves is always ready. Your savings become your seed for future investments. They become your safety during hard times and your wings when chances appear. Remember, saving is not about denying pleasure. It is about choosing what truly matters. It is about trading small pleasures today for bigger rewards tomorrow. It is about taking control of your life, one choice at a time. Every saved dollar is a soldier working for your future. Let them multiply and protect you. When you learn to save first, you build a strong foundation. And from that foundation, you can begin your journey into real investing. Because saving is not the final goal. It is the bridge that leads to growth. In the next chapter, you will learn about avoiding the traps that can destroy your savings before they grow. That is the next step on your path to becoming a true investor. Chapter 7. Avoid debt traps. Debt is one of the biggest enemies of financial freedom. It looks harmless at first, even helpful. But once you step inside its web, it quietly steals your peace, your income, and your time. Every dollar you owe becomes a small chain around your freedom. The more you borrow, the heavier those chains become. Most people do not fall into debt because they are evil or foolish. They fall because they want things faster than they can afford. They want the house now, the phone now, the car now, the lifestyle now. But money that comes too easily often leaves just as fast. Easy credit feels like freedom, but it is a trap disguised as comfort. Debt can destroy even the smartest plan. It eats your savings, kills your dreams, and makes you work for others instead of yourself. When you are in debt, you are not working for your own future. You are working to pay off your past. That is the painful truth most people ignore. There are two kinds of debt. One takes from you, and one can help you grow. Bad debt is when you borrow to buy things that lose value or do not earn money. Cars, gadgets, luxury clothes, or holidays. These give short joy, but long pain. Good debt, on the other hand, is rare. It is when you borrow for something that helps you earn more, like education, a small business, or a home within your means. Even then, it must be handled with care and wisdom. The danger of debt is not only in the money you owe, but also in the habit it builds. Debt teaches you to depend on others for your needs. It weakens your ability to wait, to plan, and to live with discipline. Once you rely on debt, patience feels boring and saving feels slow. But every strong investor knows that patience and self-control are more powerful than any loan. If you are already in debt, do not lose hope. Start small. Make a list of what you owe. Pay off the smallest one first. This gives you energy and confidence. Then move to the next one. Step by step, you can free yourself from the burden. Every time you clear a debt, you take back a piece of your life. Promise yourself that you will never borrow for something that does not make you stronger. If you want something, save for it. Let the waiting teach you discipline. When you finally buy it with your own saved money, you will feel true pride and joy. Debt gives pleasure without growth. Saving gives patience with power. Avoiding debt traps is not about being afraid of money. It is about being wise with it. When you are debt-free, you walk lighter. Your money belongs to you, not to the lender. You can take risks, invest, and build without fear. That is real freedom. The rich are not always those who earn the most. They are often the ones who owe the least. Freedom begins when you stop paying interest and start earning it. The journey from being a borrower to becoming an investor begins with a single choice: avoid unnecessary debt. In the next chapter, we will talk about what to do with your saved money. Because once you are free from debt, you must learn how to make your money grow wisely, and that begins with understanding where to invest it. That is the next step of your path toward becoming a true investor. Chapter 8. Invest in what you understand. Every great investor follows a simple rule: never invest in something you do not understand. It sounds easy, but very few people truly follow it. Most get excited by trends, tips, or promises of fast profits. They jump into things they barely know. And when the storm comes, they lose both money and confidence. Understanding what you invest in is like knowing the soil before you plant a seed. If you plant in the wrong place, the seed will die, no matter how good it is. But if you know the ground, the light, and the water, your seed will grow strong. The same is true for your money. It grows best where your knowledge is deep. When you invest in something you understand, you can see the risks clearly. You know how it works, why it can succeed, and what can go wrong. This gives you calm when others panic. You can make decisions based on logic, not fear or excitement. But when you invest blindly, you are only guessing. And in the world of investing, guessing is the fastest way to lose. Many people think they must invest in everything to get rich. They chase new coins, new companies, or quick gains. But the truth is, wealth comes from knowing your circle. It is better to know a few things deeply than many things shallowly. If you truly understand a business, a product, or a market, you already have an advantage. That knowledge becomes your shield. Warren Buffett once said he only invests in businesses he can explain in simple words. If he cannot understand it, he simply says no. That is a lesson for all of us. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to understand what you own, and if something looks too complicated, let it go. There will always be another opportunity that fits your knowledge. Start small. Study what you use every day. The products you buy. The services you love. The companies behind them. Learn how they make money, how they grow, and how they stay strong. When you invest in what you already understand, you reduce risk and increase peace. The market will always tempt you with noise. Friends will share hot tips. News will scream about the next big thing. But a true investor stays calm and asks one simple question. Do I understand this? If the answer is no, walk away. Missing a deal is better than losing your peace. Remember, knowledge is your real capital. Money without understanding is like a car without a driver. It might move fast, but it will crash soon. So take time to learn before you invest. Ask questions. Read. Listen. And when you finally understand, then act with confidence. This principle builds trust in yourself. You will stop copying others and start following your own judgment. That is how investors grow from followers into leaders. In the next chapter, we will explore something that separates successful investors from the rest. It is not about money or skill. It is about the power of habits. Because even the best knowledge is useless without consistency. And that is what you will learn next, the habit that keeps your wealth growing. Chapter 9. The habit of consistency. Success in investing does not come from luck. It comes from small actions repeated over time. Consistency is the bridge that connects effort to results. Anyone can start saving or investing once, but only the consistent keep going long enough to see real growth. Think of a farmer who waters his plants every day. He does not see results overnight, but day by day, the seed becomes a sprout, then a plant, and finally a tree. That is how wealth grows too. When you invest regularly, even in small amounts, your money begins to work quietly in the background. The results may seem slow at first, but with time, the growth becomes unstoppable. Consistency protects you from emotion. When markets rise, people get greedy. When they fall, people get scared. But a consistent investor keeps going no matter what. They save and invest with discipline, not emotion. They know that wealth is not built in one lucky moment, but in 1,000 steady steps. The habit of consistency also builds confidence. Each time you invest or save, you are sending a message to your mind. You are someone who keeps promises to yourself. This builds self-respect and trust. And once you trust your own actions, you stop depending on luck or others for success. Start small, but stay steady. If you can only save a little, save that little every week or month. Do it without fail. Over time, the amount will surprise you. You will realize that discipline is more powerful than desire. Anyone can dream of wealth, but only the consistent achieve it. Consistency also teaches patience. It reminds you that success is not about speed, but direction. Every small step, if taken regularly, will take you far. Even if you stumble, do not stop. Get up and continue. Progress is not about being perfect. It is about never quitting. One of the biggest mistakes new investors make is chasing fast results. They invest for a short time and expect big gains. When it doesn't happen, they give up. But the truth is, the best returns come to those who stay the longest. Time rewards the consistent. Make consistency your habit. Set a fixed time to review your goals. Set a regular plan for saving and investing. Do not let mood or market noise control your actions. You are not trying to win a race. You are building a lifelong relationship with your money. Even in other parts of life, consistency works the same way. Whether you are learning, working, or improving yourself, the secret is the same. Keep going. A little progress each day becomes great progress over time. When you become consistent, you stop worrying about outcomes. You focus on the process, and that process builds results naturally. You no longer chase wealth. You grow into the kind of person who attracts it. In the next chapter, you will learn about the biggest challenge that every investor faces: the battle of emotions. Because even with knowledge and consistency, emotions can still lead you astray. Understanding and controlling them is the next step toward true financial mastery. Chapter 10: The Emotion Game. Investing is not only about numbers and charts, it is also about emotions. In fact, emotions often decide whether you will succeed or fail as an investor. Your feelings can make you buy at the wrong time, sell too early, or panic when things fall. The real battle of investing is not fought in the market. It is fought in your own mind. When the market goes up, excitement fills the air. People talk about quick profits and new opportunities. You may feel that you are missing out and rush to buy without thinking. This feeling is called greed. It is one of the most dangerous emotions in investing. Greed makes you forget logic and chase what looks shiny. But shiny things fade fast. Then comes fear. When the market drops, people start to panic. News channels shout about losses. Your friends say they are selling everything. Your heart beats faster, and you want to escape. Fear makes you forget patience and sell what you should hold. It makes you turn small losses into permanent ones. A wise investor learns to stay calm between greed and fear. They do not get too excited when things rise or too scared when they fall. They understand that markets move in cycles, up and down, again and again. If you stay calm and consistent, the cycle will always reward you in the end. Emotional control is not about ignoring feelings. It is about understanding them and acting with reason instead of reaction. When you feel greedy, remind yourself that quick gains rarely last. When you feel fearful, remember that every fall creates a new chance to rise. This balance is what separates an investor from a gambler. You can build emotional strength with simple habits. Do not check your investments every hour. Do not compare your progress with others. Avoid noisy news that tries to make you react. Have a clear plan and stick to it. When you know why you invested, you will not panic when others do. Another emotional trap is regret. Sometimes you will miss an opportunity or make a mistake. You will wish you had acted differently. But regret is a waste of energy. It keeps you stuck in the past. Every investor makes mistakes. The smart ones learn and move forward. The ones who stay emotional repeat the same errors again and again. Think of investing like sailing. Winds will change. Storms will come. But a calm sailor adjusts the sails instead of fighting the wind. That is how you must treat your emotions. Guide them. Do not let them control you. Over time, emotional control becomes your greatest advantage. When others panic, you stay steady. When others rush, you wait. And this calmness becomes your hidden power. Because in investing, patience and control often win more than intelligence or luck. Remember this: your emotions are your servants, not your masters. You must guide them with discipline and awareness. If you can win the emotion game, you can win in investing and in life. In the next chapter, we will explore how mistakes can become your greatest teachers. Because even the best investors fall, but what matters most is how they rise again. Chapter 11. Learn from mistakes. Every investor makes mistakes. Even the greatest ones have lost money, made wrong choices, or acted too soon. But what separates successful investors from the rest is not perfection. It is how they respond when things go wrong. Mistakes are not failures. They are lessons in disguise. When you lose money or make a poor decision, you face two choices. You can blame others, the market, or bad luck. Or you can look honestly at yourself and ask, what can I learn from this? The first choice keeps you stuck. The second choice helps you grow. Every mistake hides a seed of wisdom. If you plant that seed, you become stronger with time. The problem is that most people fear mistakes. They see them as signs of weakness, so they avoid risk completely. But playing too safe can also be dangerous, because without taking small, calculated risks, you never learn. And without learning, you never grow. Mistakes teach you where your limits are. They show you what you did not know before. They make your next decision wiser and sharper. That is why the best investors never run from mistakes. They study them carefully. They write them down. They reflect on what went wrong. They make sure not to repeat them. If you bought a stock without understanding it and lost money, that is a lesson in research. If you sold too soon and missed profits, that is a lesson in patience. If you followed a friend's tip and lost, that is a lesson in independent thinking. Each mistake teaches something that no book or teacher can give you. But to learn, you must be honest with yourself. Do not hide your errors or make excuses. Face them. Accept them. Then forgive yourself and move forward. Regret keeps you in the past. Reflection helps you create a better future. One of the secrets of growth is recording your experiences. Keep a small journal of your investment choices. Write what you bought, why you bought it, and what happened. Later, when you read your notes, you will see patterns. You will understand your emotions, your strengths, and your blind spots. This simple habit can turn every mistake into a teacher. Remember, the greatest investors in history have all failed many times. They lost money, missed chances, and faced criticism. But they never gave up. Each loss made them wiser and more disciplined. That is how experience is built, through the courage to continue. Do not fear failure. Fear not learning from it. Mistakes are part of your tuition for success. You pay for them with time, effort, or money, but the lessons last forever. Every error brings you one step closer to mastery. So the next time something goes wrong, do not ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this trying to teach me?" That simple question turns pain into power. And that power builds your future wealth. In the next chapter, we will talk about a quiet but mighty force that works side by side with your patience and learning. The power of long-term thinking. Because true investors know that wealth is never built overnight. It grows slowly, steadily, and silently over time. Chapter 12. The power of long-term thinking. The greatest secret in investing is time. Not timing, but time itself. Those who think long-term win. Those who rush lose. Wealth grows in silence, not in hurry. The longer you stay invested, the stronger your money becomes. Many people want to get rich quickly. They chase trends, jump in and out of the market, and hope for instant results. But real investors play a different game. They think in years, not days. They understand that success in investing is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Time rewards patience. When you think long-term, your perspective changes. You stop worrying about daily ups and downs. You focus on the direction, not the noise. Short-term thinkers panic when prices fall. Long-term thinkers see it as a sale. They know that short-term pain often hides long-term gain. The power of time comes from compounding. When your money earns returns, and those returns start earning more, your wealth grows like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small but becomes unstoppable. This magic only works if you give it time. Every time you withdraw or quit early, you break the compounding chain. So let time do its quiet work. Thinking long-term also brings peace. You stop reacting to every small change. You make fewer mistakes because your decisions are guided by patience, not emotion. It is easier to stay calm when you know your goal is years away. This mindset separates investors from traders. A trader looks for the next move. An investor builds for the next generation. Long-term thinking also builds character. It teaches you discipline, patience, and faith in your process. You learn to delay pleasure today for greater rewards tomorrow. You start valuing growth over speed. And slowly, this thinking shapes not just your money, but your life. One simple way to think long-term is to set clear goals. Ask yourself, what am I investing for? Is it financial freedom, your family's security, or your future peace? When your goal is clear, short-term noise no longer shakes you. You will stay focused and steady, even when the market moves wildly. Remember, time in the market is more powerful than timing the market. No one can predict the perfect day to buy or sell. But if you stay invested, your patience will do what predictions never can. It will multiply your wealth naturally. Long-term investors understand that markets, like seasons, always change. There will be storms, but there will also be sunshine. If you plant your seeds and wait, the harvest always comes. So be patient, stay invested, and trust the power of time. This way of thinking also applies to learning, health, and relationships. Anything that grows needs time. And the best things in life cannot be rushed. In the next chapter, we will explore how knowing your strengths and limits can help you make wiser choices. This idea is called the circle of competence. It teaches you where to focus your energy and when to say no, an essential skill for every smart investor. Chapter 13. The Circle of Competence. Every investor has a circle of competence. It is the area where your knowledge, experience, and understanding are the strongest. Inside that circle, your decisions are clear and confident. Outside it, you are guessing. And in investing, guessing is dangerous. The circle of competence is not about how much you know. It is about knowing your limits. Even the smartest investors admit that there are things they do not understand. And that honesty protects them. They stay within their circle, where they have an advantage, and avoid areas that are unclear. Many people lose money because they invest in things they barely know. They hear about a new stock, a new coin, or a new trend and jump in out of excitement. But excitement is not understanding. If you cannot explain how something makes money, you should not put your money into it. It is that simple. Your circle of competence can be built around what you already know. Maybe you work in technology, healthcare, or education. Maybe you understand how small shops or farms work. That knowledge is powerful. It gives you insights that others might miss. You can use that understanding to spot good opportunities early and avoid traps. The circle of competence grows slowly, just like your wealth. Every time you learn something new and apply it, your circle expands a little. But never pretend it is bigger than it is. Pride can be costly in investing. It is better to be humble and safe than bold and broke. One of Warren Buffett's favorite rules is to stay within his circle of competence. He and Charlie Munger built their fortune by sticking to what they understood best: businesses with simple models, honest management, and long-term growth. They avoided things they could not explain clearly. This discipline kept them safe even when others were losing. To find your circle, start by asking a few questions. What do you truly understand well? What kind of businesses or industries do you know from the inside? Where do you have real-life experience or interest? When you invest in those areas, you can make better choices because you see details others overlook. Your circle also gives you peace of mind. When you understand what you own, you are less likely to panic when prices move. You can hold with confidence because your decisions are built on knowledge, not rumors. Understanding creates calm. And calm investors always win in the long run. Expanding your circle should be your lifelong goal. Read, study, and learn constantly. Every piece of knowledge makes you a little stronger. But never rush. Do not jump into new areas until you understand them deeply. The world will always offer more opportunities than you can take. Your job is to choose wisely, not widely. Remember, success in investing does not come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing yourself. When you respect your limits, you protect your wealth. When you stay within your circle, your confidence grows quietly. And with time, that confidence becomes wisdom. In the next chapter, we will explore another powerful idea that multiplies everything you have learned so far: the art of building multiple streams of income. Because true freedom comes not from one source of money, but from many working together for your future. Chapter 14. Build multiple streams of income. Relying on one source of income is like standing on one leg. You can balance for a while, but it is risky. If that one leg gives out, you fall. In the same way, depending only on your job or one investment keeps you weak. To build real financial freedom, you must create more than one stream of income. Think of income streams like rivers flowing into a big lake. Each river adds water. If one dries up, the others keep the lake full. That is how wealthy people think. They do not depend on one flow of money. They build many small ones that grow together over time. Your first stream might be your job. That is where most people start. But from your earnings, you can create more flows through savings, investments, side businesses, or digital projects. Each new stream adds strength to your financial life. It gives you stability and choice. The best part is you can start small. You do not need millions to build multiple incomes. You only need the mindset of a creator. For example, you can start by saving and investing a small amount regularly. That is your second stream. Later, you might start a small business based on your skills. That becomes your third. Maybe you write, teach, or build something online. That becomes your fourth. The goal is not to do everything at once. It is to grow step by step, one solid stream at a time. When each one becomes stable, add another. This slow but steady approach builds lasting security. Multiple streams also protect your peace. When one source of income slows down or stops, you do not panic. You have others to depend on. This freedom gives you confidence to take risks, learn new things, and live with calm. Most people work hard for money all their lives, but smart investors make money work for them. When your money starts earning for you, you are no longer trading time for cash. You are building systems that keep growing even when you rest. That is the real power of multiple income streams. You can create streams in many ways. Investing in stocks, real estate, mutual funds, or businesses. Building digital assets like courses, books, or apps. Offering skills as freelance work or consulting. Teaching online or renting out something you own. Each idea may look small, but with time and effort, it adds to your flow. The key is to start where you are and use what you know. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Start with something simple that you understand. As your experience grows, your opportunities will multiply too. Multiple streams of income give you freedom to make choices. You can spend more time on what matters. You can help others. You can live with less fear of the unknown. This is not just about money. It is about independence. Remember, the goal is not to earn endlessly, but to create stability and peace. When your income works for you, your time becomes your own. That is when true wealth begins. Not in numbers, but in control over your life. In the next chapter, we will explore the most important investment you can ever make, the one in yourself. Because before you can multiply money, you must first multiply your value. Chapter 15. Invest in yourself. First, before you invest in stocks, real estate, or business ideas, invest in yourself. You are the most valuable asset you will ever own. Your mind, your skills, and your habits are what create every other form of wealth. If you neglect them, no investment will truly last. But if you grow them, opportunities will chase you. Many people rush to earn more money without first building the person who earns it. They focus on returns before learning the rules of the game. But real success begins from the inside. The stronger your inner foundation, the higher you can build your financial future. Investing in yourself means learning new things constantly. Read books that expand your thinking. Learn skills that make you valuable in any market. Develop habits that increase focus, patience, and discipline. These are invisible investments, but they give the biggest returns over time. A good book can change your mindset. A new skill can open a new source of income. A strong habit can build a lifetime of growth. All this costs little but pays forever. Your mind is like a machine. If you feed it with junk, it will produce confusion. If you feed it with knowledge, it will create clarity and results. That's why every successful investor reads, listens, and learns daily. They treat education not as a phase, but as a lifelong process. You can start small. Spend time learning something new every day. Listen to podcasts, study successful people, take a course, or practice a useful habit. Even 30 minutes a day adds up over a year. Small learning habits compound just like money does. Investing in yourself also means taking care of your body and mind. A tired, unhealthy body cannot create wealth for long. Exercise, sleep well, eat clean, and rest when needed. A strong mind in a healthy body makes better decisions and handles stress wisely. Confidence comes from competence. The more capable you become, the more sure you feel. And confidence attracts opportunities. People trust those who trust themselves. When you invest in your growth, the world notices. Do not compare your journey with others. Everyone learns and grows at their own pace. Focus on progress, not perfection. Every new skill, every lesson learned adds a new layer to your wealth foundation. The most powerful return on investment comes when you turn learning into action. Knowledge without use fades away. So practice what you learn. Experiment, fail, adjust, and try again. Every mistake teaches something valuable. When you invest in yourself, you are never truly broke. Even if you lose money or face failure, your skills and knowledge stay with you. They help you rebuild faster and stronger. That is real security, one that cannot be taken away. The greatest investors, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, and many others, spent more time learning than trading. They built mental strength before financial strength. Their wisdom came from decades of self-investment. That is the real secret behind lasting wealth. Remember, money can be lost, markets can crash, but your mind is your greatest asset. Grow it every day. Because the person you become decides the wealth you will build. In the next chapter, we will learn about the power of giving back, how sharing your knowledge, time, or wealth multiplies your blessings and completes your journey toward true freedom. Chapter 16. Give back and grow. True wealth is not measured by how much you keep, but by how much you give. When you start giving, you realize that money is not just for survival or comfort. It is a tool to create impact, to lift others, and to spread hope. Giving back makes your journey meaningful. You do not need to be rich to give. You can give your time, your energy, your kindness, or your knowledge. Even a small act of generosity can start a wave of positive change. When you help someone rise, you rise too. Life rewards those who share. There is a quiet power in generosity. It builds relationships, trust, and gratitude. When you give freely, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You stop fearing loss and start seeing opportunity. This is one of the biggest mental changes that lead to lasting wealth. Think about people who changed the world. Many of them started by helping others. They used their success to solve problems, fund education, or create jobs. Their wealth multiplied because their purpose expanded. The more value you give, the more valuable you become. Giving also keeps you grounded. When success grows, ego often follows, but generosity keeps your feet on the ground and your heart open. It reminds you that money is only a means, not the goal. You become a channel through which good flows to others. You can start small. Help a friend learn something you know. Support a local cause. Share your experience with someone just beginning their journey. Each time you give, you build invisible wealth, trust, love, and respect. Even in business, giving creates growth. When you add real value to your customers, they stay loyal. When you mentor your team, they grow and help your vision expand. When you create opportunities for others, your influence multiplies. That is how great leaders are born. Giving is also an investment in peace. It removes fear and greed. It teaches you that what truly matters is not what you earn, but who you become in the process. It builds a sense of fulfillment that no amount of money can buy. Some people wait until they have millions before they give, but that day never comes because the habit of giving is not built. If you cannot give one when you have 10, you will not give 1,000 when you have 1,000,000. Generosity grows with practice, not with wealth. The more you give, the more you understand that abundance is everywhere. Life starts giving back in unexpected ways. New opportunities, stronger relationships, deeper peace. This is not luck. It is the natural law of return. What you send out comes back multiplied. Giving back also strengthens your purpose. It connects your wealth to something greater than yourself. It turns financial freedom into life freedom. You stop chasing success and start living it. When you reach a point where giving brings you more joy than receiving, you have understood what real wealth means. It is not about counting money. It is about counting lives touched, lessons shared, and smiles created. In the next chapter, we will explore the final mindset that holds it all together. The freedom mindset. It is the stage where money serves you, not controls you. Where wealth becomes a path to peace, not pressure. And where your first dollar grows into a legacy of purpose. Chapter 17. The Freedom Mindset. The final goal of investing is not just money, it is freedom. Freedom to choose how you spend your time. Freedom to live without fear of bills or debt. Freedom to do what matters most to you. That is the true reward of being a smart investor. The freedom mindset begins when you stop trading your time for money alone. You start building systems that work even when you rest. Your money, skills, and habits start working together to create independence. This mindset turns you from an earner into an owner. You no longer live for payday, you live for purpose. Financial freedom does not mean you stop working. It means you work because you want to, not because you have to. You spend your time where it brings joy and meaning. You wake up each day without fear of losing everything. Your life becomes guided by choice, not by need. To build this mindset, you must think long-term. Short-term pleasures often steal long-term peace. Many people buy things to look rich but stay broke inside. True investors delay pleasure. They understand that small sacrifices today bring big rewards tomorrow. Freedom grows through patience. You must also protect your mental space. A free mind is the foundation of a free life. Avoid comparing your journey with others. Comparison creates pressure and steals happiness. Everyone's timeline is different. Stay focused on your path and celebrate your progress. The freedom mindset is also about control. Control of spending, of emotions, of decisions. When you control your money, it serves you. When money controls you, it destroys peace. That is why financial discipline is emotional freedom. Simplify your life. The more things you own, the more they own your attention. True wealth is calm, not noisy. It grows quietly while others show off. Freedom is not found in more, but in enough. The freedom mindset also means designing your life around what you value most. Ask yourself what truly matters. Maybe it's family, creativity, travel, or contribution. When your money supports your values, every dollar brings joy instead of stress. You stop chasing and start living. Another key to freedom is flexibility. The world changes fast. Markets rise and fall. Trends come and go. But a flexible mind stays strong through all seasons. Keep learning, keep adapting, and you will never feel trapped. Generosity also deepens freedom. When you give, you prove to yourself that you have enough. That belief removes fear. You become calm, peaceful, and confident. You realize that real security comes from within, not from your bank balance. The freedom mindset is not built overnight. It grows slowly with discipline, patience, and purpose. You start by saving your first dollar. You keep learning, investing, and improving. And one day, you wake up to realize that money no longer controls your choices. That is the moment you become truly wealthy. Not when you have everything, but when you need nothing. Not when you earn the most, but when you live the best. That is the power of your first dollar turned into freedom. In the next and final part, we will look back at this journey. How every small step, every choice, and every lesson led you from $1 to complete freedom. It is the story of how a single decision changed everything. It is the story of your journey that never ends. Epilogue. The journey never ends. Every great story has a beginning, but the story of wealth has no end. It keeps growing with you, learning with you, and shaping who you become. The first dollar you saved was not just money. It was a symbol, a seed of belief, A quiet promise that you could create your own future. From that $1, you learned patience. You learned that time is your greatest ally. You discovered that wealth is not built in a day, but built every day. Every habit, every choice, every lesson formed a brick in the foundation of your freedom. And even now, as you finish this book, your journey continues. The first dollar taught you to think like an investor. You no longer chase quick wins. You focus on growth, on learning, on consistency. You have learned that real wealth is peace of mind, not just a number on a screen. It is the ability to sleep well at night, knowing you are in control of your future. You have also discovered that investing is not only about money. It is about character. It is about mastering yourself. Because the smarter you become inside, the richer your world becomes outside. Every skill you learned, every emotion you controlled, every mistake you turned into wisdom made you stronger. You now understand that freedom does not come from luck or inheritance. It comes from discipline, patience, and belief. It comes from small steps taken with purpose. From saying no to what is easy and yes to what is meaningful. You have built habits that will serve you for life. But remember, the journey never ends. There is always something new to learn. A new skill to master. A new way to give back. A new level of peace to discover. The goal is not to arrive, but to keep growing. That is what keeps life exciting and fulfilling. Your money will grow, but so will you. The person you are becoming is your greatest investment. So keep reading, keep learning, keep investing, keep giving. Let your wealth be a reflection of your growth, not your greed. And one day, you will look back and realize that the first dollar was just the start of something far bigger. It was the spark that ignited a lifelong flame of purpose, a flame that now lights the path for others. So as you close this chapter, remember this truth. Wealth is not the destination. Freedom is not the finish line. They are both parts of an endless journey of learning, sharing, and living fully. The first dollar investor never stops growing, because the journey never ends.